Hello everyone. So thank you so much for joining this today for this webinar. So I'm Nivas. I'm working as a product analyst here. So today I will be the one who is going to moderating this webinar. And I'm seeing some attendees are joining this session. So we'll give it a minute or two and we'll start the webinar now. Okay. Please stay connected and we'll start the webinar in 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah. Hello everyone. Thank you once again for staying connected. So before getting started, so I will start with the ground rules for this session. So all the attendees are now in listen only mode. However, you have a question box here. If you have any queries in between, you can post your answers. So at the end of the session, we'll have a Q&A session. At the end of this webinar, we have a Q&A sessions. So we can discuss the questions at that time. So we'll just try to take the question and we'll give a solution for your questions. Okay. So to begin with this webinar, let's start with the introduction about VMware Technologies. So we are the company founded in the year 2002, and we have a decade of experience in developing the backup solution for various IT environment. And we have set our footprints over 100 plus countries. Okay, and currently 60,000 plus customers are using our backup solution, and we are nearly having around 4,000 to 4,500 partners. Okay, and so yes, recently we are awarded as a top leader in the backup software by G2 Crowd, and apart from this, we are also awarded by various other softwares like Trust Radius and IT Center Stations and a lot more. Okay. So let's come to webinar. Okay, so this webinar is titled with how to create a backup and DR plan that actually works. So let me introduce my presenter for this webinar today. So I'm having Mr. Pranav with me. So he's a product analyst in VMware, and he's the one who is going to host this webinar. Okay, so this webinar is going to be about some 30 to 35 minutes of walkthrough. So initially, Mr. Pranav will explain you about the strategies in creating a backup and DR plan. So post this session, so I will be taking care of the demo. So I will just show how VMware BDR works in real-time scenarios, and how to replicate or how to create a DR plan and backup and DR plan with VMware. Okay, so this is the agenda for this today's webinar. Okay, so we'll just start with a data backup and its importance. So and then we'll proceed with how to choose the right backup solution or for your organization, and what is the DR and its influence on today's business. So Mr. Pranav will explain you about a guide to create a DR plan and the challenges that you're facing now in implementing the DR plan for business. And we'll also, yes, he's having some best practices for your organization. And yes, as I said earlier, we have a live demo, so I will explain how VMware BDR in action. And yes, at the end of the session, we'll have a QA. Okay, at the end of the session, we'll have a QA. So if you have any questions, you can just ask your questions. So we'll try to answer your questions. So yes, Pranav, so it's your time now.
Well, thanks for that wonderful introduction of mine. Thank you, Nivas, for that. So as said, it is regarding the agenda today. So we'll be talking about what the data backup is all about and what is the DR. So how does it help and how does it keep you in a high matured business continued environment. So this is what we are going to discuss today. So that is what your webinar is all about. So initially, while getting started with this, I just want to get not much deep into the concept, but still I'll just have an overview to be discussed. So on a whole, when I take what data backup is all about, I just remember a decade or 2 decades before, we have around the data backup was a concept of taking a copy of a file and archiving it. The data backup was a concept which was born after which the archiving of data was made by many companies. So many businesses were able to take a copy of the source data and they were able to archive it for their long drive retrieval. So after which after which Microsoft has introduced its VSS technology, which paved a way for the backup industries or backup third-party softwares to come into the scenario of taking a backup. So what is this backup? Just take a copy of your data and store it in a location or store it in some other location. So what is this use of a backup? So whenever there is a loss of data or accidentally when you have a delete of this data, I can restore it to a original location. So this is what data backups importance was all about. So after which the importance of this data backup started to play a main role in the businesses of today's environment. So while taking a backup, there is something which people have to understand. When there is a data loss, how do they restore it? So all this paves a way for the data backup and disaster recovery on a continued chain. So with this data backup, I want to talk about how to choose the right backup plan. So how do you take a backup? How do you plan your backup data? How do you plan for a backup of your data? So all this is all done by checking on these 4 main factors. So initially, a people who is going to take a backup should assess the different data risks that they are going to feel with their data. So for example, if there are 2 types of data that they can categorize, where initially one will be something regarding the main importance or a critical file that they need to take a backup, and another may not be much important, so they can skip the backup. Even if the data is lost, that doesn't cost them much. So with that as an example, initially I request everyone to have an assess the data that they want to take a backup and their risks. Afterwards, you have to define the backup infrastructure. So either it is going to be you're going to take a backup of your virtual environment or with your physical environment. That is what the thing is all about. So you have to define with the backup infrastructure. And then you have the storage target. Where do you want to storage the data? Store the data. Either it could be a NAS drive or a SAN drive or a local hard drive, or to another environment which is maybe in the off-site location or in a cloud. So that is where you target which storage should be your primary storage, where the backed up data to reside. After analyzing all these right plans, you have the cost to be analyzed that relies in your budget. So most of the SMBs are prone to attacks because of not taking a proper backup and because of the cost which they are afraid to take a backup. So initially when you initially when you plan for a backup, it is important to consider your budget as one of the important feature for backup in a high run. So this is all about your backup plan. So when you have to take a backup, you have to consider all these 4 important factors before checking out for a backup plan. And then I have my disaster recovery in need. So what is this disaster recovery? This is where the backup straightly comes into the play. So it is like I take a backup, I store it in some other location, and I have my primary location to be prone to some disaster. So what happens? How do I recover it? So if I'm having a backed up data that to be restored after 2 days, then I lose my business continuity. So in order to cope up with that, I should have a better planned disaster recovery state. So whenever there happens a disaster, I just get the original. So when a disaster rubs away all my source data, I can just recover all my source data from the copy which I have taken a backup. So that is what the need of a disaster recovery in this present situation happens. So there are many factors that makes disaster recovery to be something which is more important. So around 20% of the companies suffer due to natural or artificial disasters. and about 80% without a disaster recovery plan, they go out of the business within a month. So when they don't have a plan with disaster recovery details, then obviously they go out of the business or out of the market within a month. So 43% of the businesses are unable to resume the operations within 7 to 10 days. So within a week, when they are not able to bring back their business, then obviously they will never reopen. So this is the data, or this is the statistics which I've recently collected from a survey. So when keeping this in practice, the importance of DR is all much seen. So not much. I'm not going much detailed into this, the need of the DR as of now. So let me check on the plan. So how to have a better disaster recovery plan for my future future disaster planning strategy. A plan is what makes our environment much more stable and much more accountable to all the drives. So as far as this is concerned, it is important to understand the 6 steps on its whole. So these are the few 6 steps that I've shown you. This is like initially you have to identify the disasters, and you have to define the assets and set an RPO and RTO, the crisis management team, the plan to be tested, and the monitoring and record. So individually, let's see what each one has to say about. So in the identification of the disasters, it is like the nature of disasters that is going to that your environment or your primary production site is all prone to. So it is like either it could be a natural disaster, maybe you be in Hawaii Island, then there will be a clause of you call it as it is like volcano attacks or some sea rises. So most of the natural disasters like hurricane, floods, these also cause much of disaster as a part of your backup, as a part of your disaster area. So next you have the man-made disaster, which are much more and higher. So it may be due to some war, and it may be due to some hacking or some lethargic attitudes of your persons. So that may also cause some man-made disasters, and large-scale cyber attacks. So this is all coming under man-made disaster, something which is artificial. So these are the 2 types of disaster. So you have to identify, before choosing a plan, you have to identify what type of disaster may occur in your environment, and then you have the assets which is to be defined. So the recovery, it is not similar to backup. It is not just that easy to recover the complete data and restore it and go on. So it is your presence of mind to choose on which files or folders that is more important for the present situation, and then after which you can check on the other files or applications or data that could be restored. So initially you have to check on the assets that is very important immediately to start off with the to have a better business continuity. Based on that, we have some important files and folders. It could be even the applications that which you have taken a backup can restore for your as a part of your disaster recovery plan. And you can also restore your virtual machines or physical machines on a handhold. So this is what your defining of the assets means. So what is important is the thing that you are going to restore, and you should have an immediate connectivity to your business during the times of disaster. And as far as your RPO and RTO is concerned, the minimum amount of RPO and RTO makes a business to have a standard business continuity. So here it is like the RPO, your recovery point objective, and your RTO, the time objective, recovery time objective. As far as RPO is concerned, it is the data that you afford to lose during the period of disaster. It is from the time of disaster till the time of bringing back to your business, so bringing your business alive. So that is the time of data that you have lose. That is your business recovery objective. For example, if you keep 10 minutes of backup of the data that you backup, and after which you can even restore from the last 10 minutes, and you can restore the backup data and you can use it. So you don't have to lose much of your data, much of your business loss, to feel of a business loss. And the recovery time is how long that your business has been in a disaster. So that is what these two are the one that define. So minimum your RPO and RTO makes your business continuity more standard, but it varies. For example, if there is a company where it takes a backup which requires a backup at a daily basis, then it is better that you go for a RPO and RTO based on your business standards. Then your crisis management team. It is important for every businesses to create a team that manages all the crisis, after crisis details. So it is to have that team deployed with all the technology, so that they can have a better DR plan that could be implemented when a disaster strikes. And then it is a responsibility of the team to check on the required resources after the disaster strikes. And then you have the test of the plan. Once you frame a disaster plan, it is your main objective is to test the plan at regular intervals of time. So you can stimulate your disaster scenarios. It is like a fire drill which is being conducted at regular intervals of time. So only with which you can test the plan. So keep on testing the plan. Bring up some worst case scenarios, and you can test how your disaster plan works, and have a document for all the results, and then check on the time that it takes for a complete restore or a complete recovery to happen from a disaster, so that it keeps up your business continuity time alive. And after your testing is all done, so keep on monitoring all the disaster recovery plan regularly at regular intervals of time, and then record all those results for a higher run. So only when you record, you can change your DR plan at regular intervals. At maybe one after 6.5 months, you can change your plans, and then you can move on with a new plan with coming in with new technologies. So this is how you organize when a plan has been charted down. So these are the steps that you should consider while preparing a DR plan. After your plan has been created, all the steps are done, what are the challenges that a disaster recovery plan faces? So it depends on the value for money. So you should have a plan that always sticks to your budget. So never it should go higher, never it should go lower. So always keep that in a standard basis, and then you should have an ability to keep up with the threats that is coming up. So it is like you are getting updated with the technology and each and every day. So it should not be like you configured your DR plan some 2.5 years before, after which you're coming and trying it now. I don't think so. It would be updated. I'm sorry for that, but it won't be updated, because there are many new threats coming in and each and every day. So your DR plan should be able to it should be something which is a protector from any of the threats that is coming in at the time. So it may be in a future as well as the past. So keep on recording all the threats which is coming up and update your plan to the base of technologies at each and every stage. And then it is always to be reliant to the people, so that the people in your company are able to use it. Okay, so these are the challenges that a DR plan should go through. So that makes the DR to be a better one. The next to the state is your industrial best practices that could be followed as far as DR is concerned. So it is like you have 3-2-1 backup strategy, which most of the BDR solution vendors concentrating as of now. So it is like a source data where you can use this 3-to-1 strategy, like 3 copies of that source data in 2 different storage media, and 1 to be in an offsite can be stored. So with this, so any one goes down, you can use another for an higher achievable of continuity. And then the access to the DR site, that is one of the important features that to be concentrated, because when you have a disaster at a productive site and there is a network drop in the DR site, then there comes a problem. So this continuity should be checked at each and every possible time. And mostly when you choose on a DR plan, it should be a scalable one. So for example, when you concentrate a DR plan for 15 to 20 systems, when your size of the business grows, it always should be scalable. So even your size of the business grows, your DR plan also grows. So always concentrate on that on a scalable basis. Keep the plan updated. As I said, it is like each and every technology, when it comes to attack your business, you should be able to protect your business from all those threats. So it is based on the new technology that you follow at a proper update. So this update provides you immunity against the threats. And a proper training to a DR personnel, it is not only to the DR team personnels, but also to the staffs in your organization. So all the staffs in your organization get enriched with the disaster recovery awareness. It's a creating of awareness among the people, so that they don't fall as a prey to all this hacking, trojans, and more ransomware attacks. So keeping your personnel well aware of the process of threats makes them more away from, keeps them more away from this threat. So this is also a type of practice that most of the industries are trying to do it as a best practice in recent days. So this is what about your DR training is all about. So when you plan for a DR, it is generally like you have to keep in mind about 1 in 4 businesses never test their backup and disaster recovery plan. So when they lack in that, it is like it is all because like 21% of them lack their skills to test the DR plan, and then 36% of them lack time to test it. So even if you plan, when you don't have a proper testing environment and don't conduct your tests at regular intervals, and when you're not getting your DR plan or a backup plan updated, then it naturally leads you to a tough situation. So as I said before, this human error, this is where your proper training of the personnel comes into play. When human error is actually responsible for up to 47% of major IT disasters in small and medium businesses. So this is because when they are not properly trained, and they have most of the small and medium businesses fall as a prey to all these threats, it is all because of their concentration only on the particular project or a product that they sell or they come up with, because they think that DR plan or a backup plan is something which is more of a cost. So here you have to concentrate more on the budget as well as on the features that a DR plan could provide. Best BDR plan could provide. One such solution is like a VMware. So more about VMware will be explained by Mr. Nivas. So he'll take a concentrated solution regarding how VMware helps you with the DR plan, making a DR plan, and how VMware, what all features that VMware provides. So more about the limelight on VMware will be taken by Nivas. Nivas, the podium is all yours.
Hey, thank you, Pranav. So that was such a nice briefing about the DR plan backup plans. So yes, as Pranav you said, from here onwards I'll just explain the product that VMware is offering and how VMware helps in achieving the better backup and DR solution compared with the other products in the market. Okay, so let's dive into the products. Okay, let's see what are the products that VMware is offering. So VMware is offering backup solution for your physical, virtual and cloud computing. So thing is, if you have physical machines or if you have a VMware or hybrid virtual machines, whatever it is, a single solution that will help you to back up all your data from your IT infrastructure. The second one is we have a change block tracking technology, and we have flexible scheduling options. We have instant recoveries and a lot of migrations compatibilities. And so coming to the data reduction, so we have inbuilt compression, encryption, deduplication. Yes, so we have a solution. This solution scales on your as your business grows. And we have a 3-tier backup verification test, so you don't need to worry. So yes, if you back up a data using VMware, the thing is you can verify the backup data, you can verify the recoverability of the backup data. So you can verify this by booting or mounting, and you can perform the data integrity check. And next, apart from backup, so VMware is also providing replication, where you can replicate the virtual machines from one host to another host, or you can replicate the backup data to an offsite location or cloud location for DR purposes. So this is the it's a simple all-in-one and a comprehensive backup and disaster recovery suite for your business. So you don't need to choose multiple solutions for your IT infrastructure. A single solution caters all your IT backup for all your IT infrastructure. And yes, so these are the products. So we have a backup solution for VMware, which provides you with an agentless backup solution, and it will also allow you to replicate the virtual machines from one host to another host, and it is having a JFS retention. And we have a Hyper-V backup, so it supports Hyper-V failover cluster, and it's having a feature called Quick Vim recovery, which allow you to instantly boot the backup at the time of the disaster. And we have backup verification. And apart from the virtual machines, you can also back up your physical servers and workstations. So it is a bare metal backup, and you're also getting an option to replicate a copy of backup data to a tape. If you still want to archive a copy to tape, yes, we do have a tape backup solution. And yes, the files and applications, so you can back up your individual files in folders or applications. So we support business applications like Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, Outlook, MySQL. Yeah, a lot of applications we support. And apart from this, for cloud products such as G Suite or Office 365, yes, you can back up your mailbox, contacts, calendars, and even the files and folders from your OneDrive and Google Drive. Yeah, coming to disaster recovery perspective. So yeah, VMware supports two kinds of disaster recovery. Either if you have an offsite location, you can replicate a copy of backup data to an offsite location. If something goes wrong with the primary backup data, you don't need to worry, you'll have a copy there, right? You'll be able to recover the data from there. Or else, if you don't have a data center on your own, yes, you can opt for VMware Cloud. So where you have, it's a hybrid deployment, where you have one copy of data at the on-premise location, where the second copy is replicated to VMware Cloud. If something goes wrong, just log into VMware Cloud and you'll be able to download your backup data. Yeah. So now, so we'll jump into the product demonstration. So I will just share my mission and we'll explain how the product works. Okay, just hold on for a minute. So yes, I hope you all can see my mission. So yes, for this demonstration purpose, I'm using one of my Windows 2016 machine, where I have deployed this VMware BDR application and configure the backups from it. Okay, so deploying VMware is very simple. So just go to vmware.com. So here you can, from here, this website, you will be able to directly download the product. So just click on download. So the installers are available for Windows and Linux operating systems. Apart from this, you will also get a chance. You can also install the product on VMware or Hyper-V as a virtual appliances. So it is a simple installation. Just download the product and install the product. So this is bundled with all the prerequisites. You don't need to install the prerequisites separately or manually. So just download and install the product. Once after installing, you will get a shortcut like this. So this is a web-based user interface. So just click on this and it will take you to the page where you can enter the credentials to log into your dashboard. So from once you log in, you'll be able to configure the backups for your IT infrastructure from a single pane of glass. So you can see this product comes with 30 days of free trial, so you can test the product in the with the enterprise level functionalities. So from, yes, as I said here, from here itself you can configure the backup for your VMware, Hyper-V, and also for the Windows servers. So these are, you can configure everything from this backup server console itself. So if you have any files or application, that yes, we are providing agent. By installing the agent, you can configure the backups for your files and folders and application. Okay, I'll just explain how to configure the backup for your VMware. So it's pretty simple. So just select the machines you want to back. First, you need to add your host. Just give the credentials of the host, means the IP address and the credentials. Then your servers will be listed here, and once it is listed, just click on backup. So it will list out all the virtual machines running inside the host. So you can add your ESXi or you can add your vCenter. Just select the virtual machines you want to backup. Then if you want to exclude a virtual machine or disk from the backup, you can make use of this VMware disk exclusion. Then click on next. So if you have any applications running inside your machines, so we always recommend you to enable this application aware processing. So this process check for the stability of the writers, application writers, and if all the application writers are stable, it will process the backup. So it's an optional one. If you have applications, we recommend you to enable it. And then next, here you need to select the frequency for the incremental backup. So the frequency for backups is starting from 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes, you'll be able to run the incremental backups. Okay, then you need to select the frequency for the incremental backups. And if you want to schedule in additional full backups, you can schedule it from here. And then click on next. Here you need to select the retention policy for the backup job. So basically, VMware is offering two retention policies. The first one is the basic, the second one is the advanced retention. So the basic retention allow you to restore up to last 99 days of recovery points, or else if you're looking for a grandfather and father son kind of retention, then you can choose advanced retention. And you need to select the storage pool where you want to store the backup data. Yes, so VMware is providing storage pooling option where you can club the storages from multiple storage devices, and you can use it as a single pool to store the backup data. And it also supports scale-out storage repository. So at any point of time, you can, if your storage is full, you don't need to worry. Just add a new storage medium to your backup server, add it to the pool, and you're good to go. It supports scalable storage, and you can use any kind of storage medium. You can use a direct attached storage, you can use external drives, or you can use your NAS, SAN, or any storage appliances to store the backup data. Okay, and yes, the next step is the encryption. If you want to encrypt your backup data, just click on enable encryption, and you can use your own password to encrypt your backup data. And we are using AES 2556 encryption algorithm to encrypt the backup data. Then yeah, that's all. So you need to select the configuration, and you're good to go. So you just need to give the name for the backup job. If you want to run this backup job immediately, click on this checkbox. Just review the configurations that you have selected. So if you're okay with the configurations, just go ahead and save the backup. So that's all. So it will back up the data, and your data will be compressed, encrypted, and stored on the backup storage repository. If something goes wrong, just click on the recovery, and you'll be able to recover the backup data from here. So I'll just explain the recovery options for this VMware backup. So for VMware backup, we have 6 recovery options. The first one is the quick win recovery. So this option allows you to instantly restore the backup data directly from the backup storage repository. So at the time of data loss or your machine got crashed, you don't need to wait for a long time. So just initiate this quick win recovery, so you can restore your backup data instantly as a VM onto your Hyper-V or VMware or KVM hypervisors, whichever, that's of your choice, and you can start your work on it. Once the machine is booted, you can start your work on it. And for example, all the changes that you're making on this quick win session will also be recorded. For example, your machine got your source machine got crashed today, and you boot the backup data using the quick win recovery, and you're using this machine for next 2 days. The changes that you're making in between these 2 days will also be recorded. So while going for the permanent recovery, you can include, or if you don't want, you can just ignore the changes that you have made. The next one is a live recovery. So this is a permanent recovery. So this will copy the data from the backup storage and it will paste it on your data store, and it will create a new permanent virtual machine. That's a traditional recovery. The next one is a file level recovery. So yeah, only you lost some particular files and folder, or you just a piece of data is lost, then you don't need to worry. So just click on this file level recovery. You'll be able to restore the individual files and folders from the backup data. Even though it's the image-based backup, you will be able to recover the individual files and folders from it. And the next one is the disk management mode. So this option allow you to attach the backup data into the local disk management. Okay, once it is attached, the backup data will be exposed as a virtual drives on your disk management. So you can just go to the open attached folders, and you will be able to recover the individual files and folders, or recovered files and folders from there. And the next one is the disk level recovery. So this option allow you to attach the backup VMDK to another virtual machine of your choice. So once the disk is attached, VMDK is attached, when you open the new virtual machine, you can see a new disk attached here. So that's a permanent attachment. Okay. And the last one is the download option. So this is one of the coolest feature of VMware. So this option allow you to perform the migration. So as I said, with VMware you can also migrate the virtual machines or migrate the physical machines to other virtualized platform. So this option allow you to download the backup data into multiple file formats like VHD, VMDK, VHDX, flat VMDK, RAW. So even though this is my VMware virtual machine, I'll be able to download into multiple file formats. So whatever I need, I can just download. And yes, if I want to migrate VMware to Hyper-V, yeah, I can do it, or Hyper-V to VMware, or any physical machines to, if you want to migrate my physical machines to your VMware or Hyper-V virtual machines, I can do it. So that's with the download. Yeah, so this is with the backup and recovery. So apart from this, VMware also allow you to do the replication. So this option allow you to replicate the virtual machines from one ESXi to another ESXi. If something goes wrong with the source one, you can just fail over the replicated one and you can start working on it. So VMware support failover and failback. So here also the replication frequency is starting from 15 minutes. So apart from this, in this replication we do support network mapping, automated network mapping, and re-IP mapping. So only very less vendors in the market is supporting this IP mapping features. Yes, you have option to archive a copy of backup data to tape medias. Yeah, we do support L3 and above for tape drives, and you have intuitive reporting here. So you can check the backup status, you can check the image integrity. So yes, as I said, right? So we do perform 3-tier check. So once the backup got successfully completed, so we'll try to perform the integrity of the backup data. Then we'll try to mount the backup data and try to boot the backup data. So we'll check the recoverability of the backup data and we'll update it here. And in the boot check, we'll try to boot the machine backup data and we'll capture the screenshot. So from the screenshot, you can check the recoverability of your backup data. So whether your machine is recoverable or not. If you're getting some kind of error here, you can just go and check the backups, or you can configure new backups. So like this. And so these are the basic functionalities. So on-premise functionalities of VMware BDR. So okay, if you want to replicate a copy of backup to an offsite or a cloud location, that's very simple with VMware. So just go to settings, management, and click on offset copy and click on configure. So firstly, you need to enable this. So here VMware will provide you with the two options. Either you can replicate to VMware Cloud or you can replicate to your own data center. So if you have your own data center, then that's simple. So just click on this download, or it will take you to the page where you can download an application called VMware Offset DR. So just download VMware Offset DR. So here this VMware Offset DR is available for Windows and Linux installation. Just download the Windows or Linux one and install it on a machine on the offset location. Once it is successfully installed, so just give some storage to it, and once everything is done, come here. Okay, click on this VMware Offset DR. So just enter the IP address of the machine where you have installed the VMware Offset DR application and click on save the replication. So all the data from this machine will get replicated to the offset server, and if something goes wrong with the primary backup server, you'll be able to recover all your data from this offset server. So this is one of my offset server. So this is inside a different location. So you can see, so all the data from the primary backup server will get replicated here. If something goes wrong, I'll be able to reach the data from here. So this offset there is also having the same set of recovery options as that of the PDR. The same set of recovery options, you can see it here. And yes, here also you'll be able to do the image integrity check, and it will also support tape backups. So the first one, so you can use your own data center to replicate a copy of backup data, or you can opt for VMware Cloud. So to opt for VMware Cloud, you just need to create a VMware Cloud account, and once the cloud account is created, so go to the management and go to the license. So you need to register your BDF first to the cloud account that you have created, and once you're registered, so yes, you're going to go with this cloud DR. So just click on enable and click on cloud DR and click on save the replication. So all the data from this primary backup server will get replicated to VMware Cloud. Okay, again, if something goes wrong in this case, so just log into VMware Cloud. Okay, so VMware Cloud, you can log into VMware Cloud by logging into cloud.vmware.com, and by clicking on recovery, you can see all the data that are replicated to VMware Cloud. So just select the backup, okay, and you'll be able to download the backup data, and using this backup data you can create a machine onto local or to on a different location, on a different hypervisor or any platform of your choice. So this is with the disaster recovery option. And yes, so in future there is a feature in our roadmap that's called it's a cloud spin. So if you have replicated a copy of backup data to VMware Cloud, so at the time of disaster you can spin it as a virtual machine from this console itself. So this feature is under development, and it will be you'll get this feature in the nearby releases of VMware, the upcoming releases of VMware. And in the upcoming releases you'll also getting a lot of features, like you'll be getting a replication for the Hyper-V VMs, so host-to-host replication. As of now this is for VMware, and you'll get it for Hyper-V 2, and this Amazon easy to spin off, yeah, and a lot of features are coming. So yes, so if you want to know more about the features, just go to vmware.com. So whenever the features are coming, we are updating in the website, so we'll get a yes, everything updated in the website. So yes, so it's a tagline, as the tagline says. So we are just simplifying the backups, and we are reducing the complexity that backup solution is having. We are towards the no more backup complexities. So yes, so to download the product, yes, as I said, this product comes with 30 days of free trial. Okay, you can just download the product, test the product in your environment. So if you need any assistance during the evaluation, you can just feel free to contact us. So we have a 24/7 support. So our support engineers are happy to help you at any time. Okay, and yes, so these are the basic features and functionalities of VMware. So if you have any questions, so you can make use of the chat that are provided in this GTM, and you can ask your questions. Yes, so we are getting a lot of questions on the chat. So one of our engineers is trying to answer the questions. Okay, so if you're not able to answer your questions now, so don't worry, we'll answer you through a mail. So yeah, thanks. So we have handouts here. So we have a data sheets in this handout section, so that will give you an overview of the product, so you can just download and use it for your any references. And yes, so always log into vmware.com, so you will get all the piece of information from us in this website. So yes, if you're from US and Canada, you can use the numbers displayed in the screen to contact our support. So if you have any technical queries, you can just drop a mail to vmware-support@vmware.com, or if you have any commercial queries, just feel free to drop a mail at vmware-sales@vmware.com. Okay, so thank you everyone. Once again, thank you for showing interest on VMware. Thanks for attending this webinar. So you'll be getting this recorded copy of this webinar soon, or else you can, if you want the recorded copy of this webinar, you can come and collect at our website. Okay, thank you. Thank you for showing interest on VMware. Have a nice day.